Okay, I have scraped the D9H filter off. I got a brand new D9G one here that somebody sent me. So we're gonna put this on. So I just spent the last half hour scraping that old decal off with my pocket knife because I didn't bring any acetone or a razor blade or a heat gun. Of course, I don't know what I'd have plugged the heat gun into. On account of there's no electricity tree out here, so I got to get this on here straight. So I'm going to say about there, wouldn't you? Right there. Like that. Where's the... Alright, so see how I'm gonna do that. Flip on there. Okay, don't check this. Oh, we got this. Decal. Yeah, so I see the part. What we gotta do here, really go up and turn this off right here. What do you think to do? Stuff it there and do like that. So let's just go like this. See if it loose. Here's some of it. Alright. So now what you gotta do is get it straight, come down, get it started. Get all the air bubbles out if I can. Then take this off, pull it down to here because I didn't cut it straight. I got some paper under there. Come on. Come on. There you go. Okay, now all you gotta do is put it up on there without getting it full of air bubbles. Boop, like that. That's what it's gonna happen if you ain't careful. That's awesome. That's a one-piece decal rather than the two-piece ones where it said place corporate symbol over this line. What do you think? D9G. So I don't think I'm going to scrape the decal off the other side. That was too much work. Either that or I'll put that one off till tomorrow and I'll bring a razor knife. Okay, so don't look, but it's a little bit off. I think my tape slipped up there or something. Sweet. I even wore all the hide off my knuckle trying to scrape that. All right.
Hello, shitty day. Glad you came my way.
So the key to getting one of these out easy is not spinning. As soon as she goes down, quits moving, stop. Very grateful that 930 had enough oomph to get me out of there. So one disaster avoided. Ain't going back in there. was able to dig down to the bottom of that mush, put some dirt in it and get across it, but I still got tons of it to get rid of. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. Holy moly. So the problem is you got wing nuts in the plant that bring concrete and raw potatoes, and none of that should be here. There's no way I can clean this one up and make it look like this one over here. This dirt is absolute garbage. That's good clean soil. What we wanted to do is get like 3 or 4 cells through here, but I know I'm not going to be able to move that big pile behind the cat. That's just, it's so full of raw potato, you just can't do anything with it. It's just, I mean, it may look dry on top, but it's just bottomless underneath. It's like running on ball bearings. Anyway, holy cow, it stinks. It's the smell of money. I think that's the smell of money.
Now the skies are all gray, and all I can say is hello, shitty day.
So I stuck my GoPro 11 on the hood, and of course it turned itself off like it always does. So the first try it wouldn't budge, so I picked it up, picked the ass end up and the front end up with the blade and the ripper, and then I had him come in on the side with the loader and shove some material down under the tracks on this side. It was the only side he could get to, and he about sunk that loader doing it. And I went over and got some 4x4s that was some kind of pallet, shoved them under the back of the track. So the second time we tried it, it struggled, but it came up out of there. And the reason we couldn't get it out the first time is I didn't just stop. I actually drove forward a little, put it in second gear and tried to back up, and then it really went down. So it was down against the belly pans and it wasn't gonna go anywhere. So you saw in the video the rotten spuds boiling over the blade. So what I've been doing is, over there was just as bad as this. So what I would do is go as far as I could till she spun out. Then I would back up and go down super deep and try to get all the slippery goo and push as far as I could. Then go clear back here and get some better material and fill that in. And then I just kept doing that and doing that. And I've got a fairly decent base over there. And I've got a lump of good dry dirt just on the other side of those piles right there. So I need to figure out how to push that slop over the hill and get onto that good dirt. But this right here is the last of the garbage, and it just runs like molten lava. It's just absolute slop. So back there where he had the loader, he was running back and forth on it. It was just pumping like snot. So underneath of that is this garbage. So I'm not sure how I'm going to get this unless I come in this way and push it over there and then try to bring it up. I really don't have much good material left behind me to try to fill this hole, and the last thing I want to do is drive into that again. So then I got all that slop over there on that side I got to try to get rid of, and then got to turn around and go the other way. And there was a big crater up in there in the top of that pile that was that mud they dumped up in there, and it's just flowing like lava. It's not dry yet. So I was hoping to have enough material here that I could make a transition and a slope. If I can get good traction, I can crawl up on top of that pile and start moving it. But if I get onto this slimy stuff here, it just won't go. If I had my old tracks and pads on there, I wouldn't have done any of this. There's no way. Thank goodness I ended up with 27-inch extreme service grousers when I bought those tracks. I didn't know how that was going to work out, but it's worked out really well. That little bit of extra width on the pads helps hold you up a lot. So I'll get in the cat and we'll see if we can not get stuck again. I mean, every time I fell in, usually if I just put it in reverse and back up, she'll come out of there. I've had a couple of times when it was just all it wanted to come up out, and the tracks get full of junk and go tight and start popping. Anyway, Jeff's gonna win one way or the other here. I'm gonna get it done. End of day 3, smelling this stuff. So this is where I got stuck. If you remember what this looked like, it had slimy goo, which is over there on the face now. Rotten potatoes up the wazoo. Jeff's winning. I'm getting it. I'm kicking its ass. So what I'm doing now is I'm taking this corner off, and I got up on top of it and started pushing and fell in, and it was downhill forward, and so I just used the ripper I was hoping I'd get a whole lot more dry stuff up on top before it went to hell. Because I need some fill out through here. It's kind of low. I lifted my back end several times, and when you raise the back end, it pushes the tractor forward. And it got out. So I thought, well, I'll go up higher and try it. Holy moly. I fell in some soup up there. I didn't think I was gonna get out. So I just finished pumping fuel and shoveling the tracks. Man, I am pooped. That stuff just sticks everywhere, and if you don't shovel it out, the heat from the final drives and the case on the tractor will cook that stuff overnight, and you won't get it out. It'll set up like concrete. So you got to get out everything you can every night so it doesn't cook itself in there. So my plan is to take that pile and just keep pushing it towards that white building and get it piled over there and open them up another area here. It's got some really, really bad soft spots in here. And I got back there, and thank goodness right in there it's solid, and it's that material like was in the other side, good and hard. So I pushed some of that this way and tried to fill the mud holes, but it's going to take a while before those things heal up. So I'll just be back tomorrow and just keep on pushing until I get her whipped. It's pretty time consuming. And the more I go over into that pile, what I'm worried about is I've got places where the water is just coming out now. And unless I'm down to a good bottom, good hard bottom, and I start, if I start falling in because I don't have a hard bottom, then I don't know what I'm going to do. It gets to be pretty tough to move it. That stuff there, I had to push it that way and push it that way to dike it up. They don't need much of a dike. Anyway, they just dump that mud in there. They carry it over with the front end loader and dump it. And then it dries, and then if they come in and kind of buck it up and put it like a dike around it, then they can dump inside that again and just keep building and building and work their way out. But this job would have been 10 times easier if raw potatoes hadn't have got dumped in that. That's what's killing me. Raw potatoes, they just never dry out. So the other night, Bruce Clonch stopped by. He's a native of down Aberdeen way in Bingham County, where I live. And he lives up here, and he come by and he brought me a payday candy bar and 100,000 grand bar. Anyway, appreciate that, Bruce, checking up on me and coming to see me. Oh, and then he also told me his son's a police officer here, and they get a lot of vagrants and people that pass through, and they hang out along the river here. And I said, oh, that's why the grass is all knocked down over there, and there's some aluminum cans and stuff. So he said he'd have his son swing by here at night, or somebody come by to check on the equipment, make sure somebody didn't get in it and mess around. So Bruce, I have parked it clear over there by the building, so I'm gonna call you and tell you that so you can tell them they don't have to come over here anymore. Anyway, I appreciate your help, Bruce, and appreciate you looking out for me. That's awesome.
It's alright.